public time, 3 minutes for anything you'd like to speak about.
I do not have a library report this month because we didn't have August meeting. But I'd just like to say, visit the website, continue to look at all the wonderful programs that the library offers, and feel free to attend our next board meeting, which is Thursday, September 18th. We'll be at our new location, which is the American Legion, and it starts at 10.
Okay.
Thank you. That's all I got.
Thank you much. Anybody else?
Are you taking comments?
Public
Right.
time.
Yes, please. I'm so sorry. I'm late. I wanted to address some.
State your name, please.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Heidi Helfer, and I'm in Lapeer County. I want to address some misconceptions that seem to be out there regarding the duties of a library board. The role of the library board is mostly to ensure the library is being sufficiently funded and that the librarians and staff are supported in maintaining a functioning library that reflects the needs of its community. What a library board should not be doing is determining what books are in the library. The fact that the board member majority is trying to do this is highly irregular and infringes on our First Amendment rights. They are undermining the ability of librarians to utilize their expertise in choosing books that reflect the interests of this community. Librarians acquire books based not on their own personal preferences, but on the needs of the community they serve. They support parents in having the opportunity to decide for themselves what their children read. The board member majority claims it wants to make sure that parents have control over what their children read, but their desire to censor books does just the opposite and actually breaches our First Amendment rights. Parents shouldn't have to worry about their rights being usurped by anyone who wants to promote only their own beliefs. Another point I'd like to make is that the members seeking to censor books have engaged in scare tactics intended to make the community question what materials are in our library. An example of this is unfounded claims that there are materials in the library that haven't been vetted by the librarians. Not only is this inaccurate, but it's an insult to the librarians. They've been trained to research materials before allowing them into the library collection. Also, with regards to scare tactics, I'd invite you to look into how many people who worked in the library have left. This isn't coincidence. There is documented evidence that the board member majority have engaged in harassment of anyone associated with the library who openly disagrees with them. Please take these threats to our library seriously and further investigate what the board member majority is doing. Thank you.
Anybody else? We are back to public time.
It's me again. Sorry. I realize at least some of the township board have said that you have no control over the library board. Yet you're the ones who appointed Ms. Brotzke to the board. Because of this, you do have at least some responsibility to make sure she and her board member colleagues are doing what they're supposed to, which is working to support the library and its staff. One thing I'd ask you to do is have Ms. Brotzke give you a written document detailing exactly what she and her colleagues plan to do in the library and how they plan to do it. And in this document should also include all of the books they want to censor, along with their justifications as to why they are targeting these books. There needs to be some sort of oversight. I suspect Ms. Brotzke will say they don't have to do this, which may be the case. However, unless you have a detailed document you can read through, you don't truly know what the board member majority are doing. In addition, an inability to present you, and by extension the public, with written documentation of their plan indicates they are just saying and doing whatever is convenient in the moment and avoiding having to be transparent about whatever it is that they are doing. If there is no oversight of the library board by the groups that appointed these people, then there is no accountability. The library board appointees are there to serve the community, not their own personal agendas. But unless those that gave them these positions push for more transparency, there's no knowing whether or not these board members are actually upholding the oaths they took and following through with representing the community they're supposed to be serving. Please consider the imminent threats to our library, and please look into these issues further. And I do have some flyers for you if you'd be willing to take them. That will give you some more information on what the librarians are actually supposed to do. And I also have a document that tells you like what the banning history of the library has been and how the background on that. So if any of you would be willing to take those, I'd be happy.
You can leave them on the table.
Okay, thank you.
Is there anything else at public time?
Yes. I just want to address what this young lady has just talked to you about. I've been to just about every library board meeting, and there is untruths in what she is saying. And also, they are not trying to ban books. They are trying to secure books that includes sexually explicit pictures from young children, from the age of starting at 3, 4, 5, and that's all they're trying to do. They're trying to get them moved where the parents are aware of what are in these books, that these children are not picking up these books with sexually explicit information in them in a cartoon form. There is no banning that has ever been asked. There has been many untruths that have been spoken in the paper and over this whole 2-3 years. Also, unfortunately, the county press has also told a lot of untruths. So I plead to you, if you want a true picture of what goes on and what this board is trying to do not believe what this young lady is saying. Come to the library meetings and experience what they have to go through. And it is not pleasant that the harassment and the bitter comments and the uproar that is at those meetings. So I asked you, please, if you want a true picture, please come and see. Our board is trying to do their job. They've done everything they can, and they have met with countless barriers to try to accomplish good and right things for our library. And they do care about the library. They are not trying to destroy the library. They are just trying to make it better for our young people and the people in our community. Thank you.
What's the, you have an attorney for the library board?
We do.
And
I'll just appreciate your kind words, Jerry, and a lot of what you said is absolutely true. A lot of what the speaker before you said is untrue. I don't want anybody to get confused with what the board is doing or plans to do with my challenges to books before I became a board member. Because now I am a board member, 1 of 7, and anything we do does have to get run by our attorney and voted on by the full board. So there's that. And asking me to produce a list of books that is not so. I'm not going to write down a list of books that there is no list of books. So I don't know what to say to that, but and you can, come to the meetings, of course. You can go to the website, just as you guys do. The minutes are approved. Everything that happened in the board meetings is on there. You will see that there's been nothing about banning books or moving books. Yes.
I don't often reply back to public time, but I will make one comment. When Peggy Brotzke was appointed as the library representative, this board made it very clear what we expect of her. And even though this board cannot take her off of that position,
Right.
I don't think our representative would want to know that we are disgusted or annoyed with what she's doing. She knows what we asked her to do,
I understand.
and we expect her to act on our behalf because she was appointed by us.
Right. And that's why I urge you to question whether or not that's actually happening. Please, you don't have to take my word for it. Please do your own investigation.
All right.
But you're stating that everybody on the board is opinionated, but you're opinionated. Your opinion is different than the other 7 people on the board. So when you're trying to say that, you know, they're not acting in good faith of the library, but you're saying that you are acting in good faith. But that's just your opinion. So you're back to opinions against opinions. And they were voted in. You guys had your reign. The people before had their reign. They got voted out. They got moved out. And, you know, as far as I'm concerned, this is a dead issue coming to our township. When you live in another township, go there and complain.
Just one point back. I actually, yes, this is my opinion, but I also am backing it up with facts. So that makes a difference, I think.
Well, I don't know about the facts. You haven't presented any.
Anything else?
Opinion.
I'm Susan Huff. I live in Metamora Township, and I know Peggy. I know Jenny from board meetings, etc. And I think they both have very good intentions. However, number one, we have a fabulous library. If you haven't been there lately, I'd encourage you to go visit it. It's full of families and children who feel safe in that library because our laws keep materials that are harmful to children out of our library. We don't have obscene materials in the library. We don't have pornographic materials in our library available to children. These books they're talking about are books that you and I might not choose to read, but other people in our community might choose to read. They might need to read, they might want to read, but they're books that are in the adult section. And for a young child, they're talking about these 3, 4, 5, 6-year-olds to go upstairs by themselves. They can't even be in the library by themselves if they're under 10, and search the stacks for these books is just not even conceivable. So you have to wonder why this is. The board member who was here tonight referred to her challenges prior to the time you appointed her. That particular board member has been involved in several other things that have also been, I'm going to just say, putting the library in a negative light instead of supporting the library. I'm a believer that if it walks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, it's probably a duck. And if you read the laws, you will learn that the term ban is an umbrella term. And it refers to restricting books, sequestering books, reducing access to books, and those are some of the things that our board has actively researched doing, and that is a fact. We have documentation of that. So they are looking to do things that would restrict access. But our books in this library are, believe me, up to your standards. If you haven't been there yet lately, please take time and go into DeAngeli, go into Metamora, go into Hadley, walk through, pull books randomly off the stack, and see what you find. And I think you're going to find it's a very different picture as far as intentions. Again, the board member that you appointed has spoken publicly about needing to move books, sequester books, do something with a few books. And when asked respectfully for the titles of those few books, I was refused. So I know that in her application material, she told you that the previous Lapeer Township representative did not speak Thank you for timing me. I hope you timed everybody else. Did not
Yep,
speak
everybody
to answers.
was talking.
And we've gone back and forth a little bit here. So I just think that's a problem, and I think it's also a problem when we can't get information from the people that represent the entire district, not just your township. Our board represents the entire library district. Thank you very much.
Anybody else? Let's move on to the report.
If they wanna.
So the barn project is off
Can they sell
until
cemetery plots?
Yeah,
next spring.
have you been buying?
Right now, can they sell those
Yeah.
cemetery
Okay.
plots?
Yeah, cause, he started digging it out, we were using
But they can
the
get
dirt
to
for
somebody else.
other low areas and the pastures and stuff, and, so he's digging the backside so you can't see on the front side, kind of.
Buried or stuck,
Um,
or just donate them back.
but he's still got a whole wall up.
My dad just
And,
asked like 3 days ago.
No, I'm not gonna tackle that,
One of those
so.
things that you just.
Getting better, that's the main
Or is
thing.
that fun?
Yeah.
No.
All right, Scott, thank you.
Take care.
Didn't expect, I knew the time was coming,
I
I just
just
didn't know.
wanted to thank you
Just
for your
creeps up on me so fast.
And I appreciate Sam's doing her job during public time when she's timing. But then I just watched someone that's not been recognized talk back and forth to someone in the audience. I think you're being a little more casual, and that maybe I'm not gonna be exactly tied to my 3 minutes. So I apologize for going slightly over my time, and I appreciate your time.
Not a problem.
Thank you.
We've got the flyers up there then.
What's that?
Yeah, you can't transfer those, to the original price,
Okay.
if it's non-resident or resident.
Gotcha.